Elizabeth City, it's Centre Stage. And here's your host, Andrew Russo.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Centre Stage. I'm your host, Andrew Russo, and we are filming this live from the Shedley Theatre in the heart of Elizabeth, South Australia. Centre Stage is a new TV show which we will feature producers and artists who have graced the Shedley stage. Since you're not able to come to us, we're going to bring the fun to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Shedley Band. How about that band, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a huge show lined up. A little later, Matt Byrne will be here live in the studio. Matt was due to present Priscilla, Queen of the Desert in July this year. I'll be talking to him all about that. Now, during the week, we asked you to send in a clip of you doing a Tony Manero. That's right, Saturday Night Fever. Matt Byrne Media presented it 2 years ago here on the Shedley stage. So we asked the community, you guys at home, to send in you doing a bit of dialogue, maybe the famous walk. Be creative, that's what we asked. So, have we got some clips for you? Let's roll them. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our first guest onto Centre Stage. Matt Byrne is a journalist, publicist, entrepreneur, writer, director, producer, actor, and promoter. Wow, there was a lot there. Matt Byrne Media has been presenting shows at the Shedley Theatre for over 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt Byrne. Oh, we better hold off on that. We better hold off on that. We'll do one of these instead.
There we go.
Grab a seat.
Hey, people.
Well, Matt, thank you for coming on in.
Thanks for that lovely intro.
Our first episode.
Jeez, I didn't realise I'd done that much.
You've done so much here at the theatre. It's just amazing over the years how much Matt Byrne Media has presented. It was going to be another big year for Matt Byrne Media, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. What does it mean for the production at the moment?
Okay, so Priscilla, Queen of the Desert will still be coming to the Shedley. That's the good news. But it won't be till July 2022 because I have a very big show, which I can't announce yet, which I'll be bringing here next year, and you'll be very, very excited about that. It's a fantastic show, and I like to bring the best shows and the biggest shows here.
So I guess I want to start with when the news broke, with the federal government, the gatherings of less than 100, our venue, we were told, unfortunately, we had to close. What did you need to do?
Well, we were very lucky, believe it or not. The Fringe was nearly over, and they announced it was 500 people. So we were able to do the last couple of nights of the Fringe. I think the Monday after they said, now it's 100. Well, for a whole bunch of companies, that meant it was over. They couldn't do any musicals. Like I normally do shows at the Arts, which holds 500. This place holds about 387. And so that just took it out of the game. So I reckon by August, we'll have a pretty clear idea of whether there's going to be a 2020.
Let's go back. Where did it all start for Matt Byrne?
Well, as far as showbiz is concerned, my dad was never in showbiz, but I did a show for the Fringe called True Story of Dad, and we'd be home with the friends and relatives visiting, and Dad would come out of the lounge room with a bloody boater hat and his guitar, and he'd sing song and tell jokes, and I think he had a bit of the showbiz in him. So a friend of mine was actually playing piano for rehearsals for South Pacific, which went on in about March 1978. And I came there one night to pick him up from rehearsals. And he said, I've just wandered in through the door and saw them all, finishing that evening's rehearsal of South Pacific. And I thought, what's all this about? And I ended up coming to see the show, and it was great fun. And I got to go to an after-show party, meet a few people. And of course, they were looking for men. And I looked at the people on stage. I thought, I'd love to do that. I'd love to give it a go. And that's what you just got to have some, people who say they don't have an ego have never been on stage. You got to have an ego to have a go. So that really gave me my chance. And I did musical after musical for Northern Light. I was on the committee. I wasn't much of a singer, and of course I'm doing musicals, so what can I do? I can improve my acting, so I started doing shows with the Elizabeth Rep. I worked hard. I improved my acting to get better roles, because I liked the comedy parts, and the songs they sang weren't singer songs, so you could sell a song. So You know, comedy roles is what I was after, and no matter where I went and did shows, I always thought of the Shedley. And finally in 2004, I'd been doing shows at the Goodwood Institute, was called Mayfair then, and I was doing Tommy. And I decided that there's a lot of Poms still up at Elizabeth, they would love Tommy. So I did a couple of weeks of the show at the Goodwood and brought Tommy up here for a week. And then I started bringing my shows up here. Everything from that to the producers, all kinds of different shows I brought up here. And then I wanted to always tour a show, not just to here, but up to the Riverlands. So we did stuff up at the Chafee. Eventually the touring wore off on me and I just started to concentrate on doing, theatre at the Arts and here. Also my other involvement is, of course, I've been a professional theatre critic in Adelaide for the Sunday Mail for over 20 years. I was arts editor for the News and arts writer for the Sunday Mail. So I've done a lot of things. I've been lucky enough to travel with that. I've taken shows to Edinburgh. I've taken shows to the Melbourne Comedy Festival. So, and I've written shows for the last 18 years.
So I guess this is a bit of a personal question around, over the years, you've presented renowned theatre shows we've all grown to love and see. What's your favourite among all of them?
Well, there's probably a couple of standouts. In 1993, I better get the year right, 1993 October, I directed Grease for Northern Light here. And it was such a good cast and production, I thought, if I'm ever going to go my own way and present my own shows, this has got to be it for me. You know, probably if I look at my musicals, The Phantom of the Opera was a big, big challenge. I'm so glad that we used the Shedley as well as the Arts, because finally when we brought it up here, everything in my mind, I don't direct it for the Arts, I design and direct it for here. And so at the end, you know, Raoul and Christine went across in the boat while the Phantom was weeping at the foreground. Couldn't do that at the Arts, there just wasn't room, but you could do it here. That's why this place got to get going again. We need it.
So is there one theatre musical that you haven't presented that you want to, or is that the 2021 secret?
Yeah, pretty much. That you just answered your own question. Only because there's certain shows I feel I was born to do, and this is the one for me.
Well, it's keeping us in suspense here. So
yeah, well, you know.
we're going to have to wait, aren't we?
You shouldn't know what you're getting for Christmas till Christmas morning. And so when I announce this show, I guarantee you this joint will be full for 2 weeks and this place will be rocking.
What does the Shedley mean to you?
Well, for someone who grew up in Gawler, where we had the Gawler TAFE, where the centre players, company long gone, used to do shows there, that was the only real theatre I'd ever seen. I never really saw any theatre till I came here. But this place just has so many memories. Len Ashby, David Winston, Chris Bussey, who's still going, fantastic. So many big, wonderful names and talent have come through this building. I see the ghosts, the ones we've lost, sitting out in the audience when I do a show, and I meet the ones who are still going in the foyer afterwards because they come and support the shows. It's my ancestral home. I'd much rather do, they said, do a show at the Festival Theatre or here. I say, well, I'll do it here, thanks. Yeah. Shedley is the beating heart, and of course we have the Octagon next door with the big light discos and the big bands that used to play there. It's just a privilege to be here. I can only say, if you've never been to the Shedley, please come. When this place gets up and going again, fill the place. You need to come and see the artists, you need to support us, because, you know, everyone's worried that the pub won't open anymore, whatever. What if there are no one to do theatre anymore? What if there are no companies anymore? We need to get this place up and running again. It's the heartbeat of my life, this place, and hopefully I will always come back here.
The next, 6 to 12 months,
yeah.
What have you got planned?
Well, you know, there'll be the Fringe show if we have the Fringe, and I'm hoping it will be. So that'll be Matt Byrne's Gone Viral with the true story of Mum. I'll do that during the day, Mum's show, and then at night. And I want to bring those shows, Dad's story and hers, up here and present it here. And there'll be this big, wonderful musical in July. And then, you know, there'll be another play. I haven't decided what yet, but I'll be back at Holden Street October, November next year for about a 3-week season of a play. I think next year is going to be a massive year. Give you a bit of a scoop. My intention is to do The Odd Couple at Holden Street this year no matter what. So even if I can't have an audience,
You live stream.
I'm going to stream the thing and people can subscribe, book a ticket and see the show. So that's going on no matter what. I'm only losing one show, and that's a big loss, Priscilla, but we haven't lost it because it'll be back in 2022, and don't miss out.
Absolutely.
So go to mattbyrnemedia.com.au, and for the live streaming of anything that I do, go to Facebook, and it's Matt Byrne Media Stage. And can I say, it's an enormous privilege to be on this show. To be asked first is amazing. And I look forward to coming back again, and more power to you and Mr. Doherty and everything else that's happening with the council. Good luck for the future. We need this place to be happening, so we support whatever initiatives you have going.
Well, Matt, you couldn't have said it any better. We appreciate you coming on for our first episode, and we obviously look forward to 2021. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please thank Matt Byrne for coming in. That is the conclusion of our first episode. Please tune in on Friday the 22nd of May for our next episode of Centre Stage. For now, it's goodbye. And as they say in show business, break a leg. Good night.